Okay, we're back. New video, I think this will be. And what we're going to do in this video is run through some of the other points we had to consider and potentially start adding some additional functionality to user registration and login backend that we're building in Node.js. If you haven't watched any of the previous videos, we're aiming to do this pretty much by and large with AI, just to accelerate the development process and to see how far we can actually take it. So where we left off previously was we were using Claude to help generate some overview files that were explaining our code base and providing a little bit of instruction. That way, if anyone else was to look at this, they'd be able to understand it if they're a relatively new developer. Obviously, if you're an experienced developer, you'd just be able to read the code and get it. It's also suggested a few areas of improvements, which I thought was quite good. And hopefully, for those of you who aren't too familiar with development, going through this process in the previous video help you get an understanding of how the application is being structured. So what I do want to start off with, though, is understanding if we're using Express.js, the new functionality in Express.js 5 for error handling. So I am going to ask, we are using Express.js version 5 in the docs. Express.js talk about new error handling capability in v5. Does our code base currently leverage this? Okay, so there's our current implementation. So ensure that throughout our application. Okay, so we're not using it. Express 5 introduces a new error handling mechanism that allows for promises to be rejected with non-error values. The key changes are promises are rejected with non-error values are now handled properly in the error handler. The next function can be called with any value, not just error objects. Okay, can you give an example of where this would be code base? Okay. Interesting. So if error object and I'm going to ask it one other follow-up question. Using this approach, where we handle specific error types in the controller, for example, do we not end up with a situation where we have a huge amount of code here? Is it best practice to create some middleware to handle these? Middleware or util handle these and document detail all the different error types. Okay, so error handler None of these error map of error types to HTTP. Okay. Let's read the instruction. So I was right in assuming that if we just go ahead and implement it, we're going to have a lot of duplication. Just going to pause for 1 minute. Okay, we'll continue. So, just to recap, we're trying to use the new error handling functionality in Express 5. So in your services or data access layer, you throw specific error types. Oh, interesting. So that differs, for example, if we go to login service. If no user, we throw a new app error, which is like invalid email or password. And they're saying you would instead replace it with, if no user, you throw a specific error of not error found. And then you define how those work. Where is that? So middleware. Here's a different class extends app error. So it extends the app error, which is, where is it? No, it's not there. Okay, interesting. So, is this where it had the, no, it's the error handler. Okay, and we'll find where it talks about that in a second. So throw new, not error found, requires app error. In your controls, you can simply use the error handler function. So next error handler. Set up the error middleware in your main application file. Okay, sounds good. Let's use this approach. Can you specifically tell me what files to update to for our error handling? We will middleware utils handling files required. We will then look individually at our existing code base to update how we use the error handling. Next, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything because I haven't used this functionality previously. Alrighty. So this will be our base custom error handler. Let's just compare that. So class app error extends error. So to change it a little bit, but anyway, a lot. Save that. And then utils will do this error type. So that's what I was looking for before. So utils, error types, .js, copy. And then this will be our main error handling utility. Utils error handler. Copy that. So we're gonna delete this presumably. Oh no, we're going to update this to use our error handler util. So that's going to get confusing. We've got an error handler and we've got another error handler as a util. Anyway. I'm interested in Update utils logger.js. Let's ask that. Okay, it suggests it didn't need to update it, but it suggested some updates anyway. Then I do want to just ask it here, what is the thought process in having an error, what was the file? Error handler in both utils and middleware? Is this best practice, or should any code be consolidated? Just seems a little bit confusing to me to have another so the utility handles error processing logic, the middleware deals with express specific operations. Okay, the error handler utility can be used outside. Okay. And let's do that. Rename. Yes. And then we're going to update this to error middleware. Yes. Okay. Back here. Update. Error utils. It's done that. No. Update the content and focus on error processing, error types. Doesn't have that. Handle error. Exports handle. Oh, that should still be kept to handle error. My bad. Error middleware. Handle error. Error middleware. Okay. App.js. Error handler. We'll call this error middleware. And then middleware. Save that. Server. Okay, controller files. Okay, update imports in controller files that we're using in error handler. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and ask it to update all of the logic for each file to use our new approach with error handling. can you please update the login.controller file to use our new error handling approach from, I'll be specific, from Express.js 5. Let's get that. Oh, there is no errors, I don't think, in here. We weren't using error handling there. My bad. Oh dear. Try catch. Oh no, we were, sorry, because we were throwing next error. Let me just check something. Sorry. Originally, we were only using app area in our services file for, should we leave You're right to bring this up. Best approach. So service layer, continue using for throwing errors, control layer. Control should not not handle or transform errors. So in our controller, if no user throw new app error, invalid, use match. That's still the same. And then in our login controller, login controller. So in the catch error logger.error login failed. So it's added a little bit more context for our error logging using logger.error. Okay, so what we can do is go, please update our control. Update it. Oh, here it is. Copy this. We'll just replace our login.controller functionality. Then we'll go, okay, now we need to update our services. Please update our services file to use the new error handling approach. Okay, and here's where we should see some changes, hopefully. I want to be able to show that. That's not what I want to do. Yes, like that. Okay, let's have a look at this code. So we've got authenticate user, new app error, still the same. I'm a little bit confused then. Why am I not understanding this? When do we invalid refresh token? Okay, so hang on a minute. Error utils, error types. Yeah, error handler. Yeah, it's not. So in our controller, login controller, it said to use this unauthorized error, but it's not now doing that. It's gotten confused and gone down the rabbit hole of using logger for our logging of errors, which is good, but it's not using the utils. So let me just ask it that. When are we using these? Okay, our services are using app error for throwing errors. Our controllers are passing errors directly to next. We have a new error handling utility that's not being used. Thought so. To properly integrate our new error handling approach, we should use the new app error types. That's what I was trying to get you to do in our services instead of generic app error. That's what I was trying to get you to do. Use the handle error function in our error middleware. Keep controls simple. Continue to pass errors to next. Okay, so in the services file, yeah, we want to throw new unauthorized error. Okay. So let's see, update error middleware. Copy. Let's just do that first. Error middleware. Save. Keep controllers simple. We remain unchanged. So let's just check that that's the case. Log in controller. Next error. We just throw the error to next. That's fine. Okay, fantastic. So then in our services file, we want to, okay, please update error types, error handling as appropriate. We'll just get Claude to do the work. Yeah, these are our console logs, so we can actually probably remove those, but fantastic. Copy. And then we will say controller. Service for register. Where's register? Oh. Please now do the same for our registration service. Copy, save. Okay, then I'm just going to ask from our project files, are you aware of any other files we need to update with our new error approach? Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's kind of done this like checkbox. So authentication. I'll just ask it, does this need to be updated? Going to run out of messages again, which is really annoying. Copy that. Save. And then we are going to, it says app.js and server.js, but we just pass in the error middleware there, which is being used. So that's no updates required there. That's fine. And then validation middleware. It's probably the other big one that's going to need updating. Validation requests. Sanitization, error middleware. Just check. Does this need updating? Okay. Updated that. Save that. To use this updated middleware, ensure that it's in conjunction. Okay, we better check this. So in the route files, we've got to check. I think it's gonna, yeah, it's already fine. Validate request. Body. Yep. Why does it come back to our error middleware? To be updated here. Current implementation is already well aligned. It doesn't require significant changes. While not necessary, you might consider these enhancements. Okay, these are optional and depend on your specific needs. The current implementation is already solid and doesn't require any mandatory changes. Okay, so let's just do that. So error.log our request error. So this is going to replace this. And then if process. In development environments, you might want to include the stack trace. Message. We'll just check. Is this how you would format? This is our last message. Oh, I don't mean to save. Yeah, okay. That's what I did. Okay, that was meant to follow afterwards. My bad. Copy. Alright, A, B, save. Okay, so we've updated quite a lot of the error handling now to utilize Express.js 5. Now, I think a lot of these tests might start to fail because they're still not going to be updated, but obviously we run out of messages with Claude, so we can't actually do any more work at the moment with Claude. I'm reluctant to go back to ChatGPT because it's not going to be aware of all these changes. So, okay, we've now got a bunch of tests that are failing. Okay. In the login functionality. So I think that's just because of how a lot of the errors have been changed. So we will have to cover that in a later video. What I want to do now is we're going to go back to Notion. So we're going to get rid of this. We've done that, right? We've got our markdown files explaining all of the code. We've done that. We will need to update the Claude project to use the new files. So we will do that. We do need to ask about this. So we did that last night because we were running into issues. And then I don't think we're mocking anything anymore. So let's... Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to cover a couple of quick things. We're going to go to, we're going to basically do some planning session. We're going to go through and look at the MD file and look at some of the potential improvements that have been suggested. And then we'll use this to work out what we're going to add to this project. So let's just make this big. Let's hide that for a second. And we are going to go to potential improvements for login / registration. Don't want it marked down here. Basis plain text. Okay. Let's just change this to do. What? You can't make those. Oh, that's really annoying. I thought you could convert this change to do. Surely you can do that. Okay, whatever. Describe the benefit of using it. Oh, run preview. Probably shouldn't use the preview model for something so simplistic. I just want to think about this in a little bit more of beyond my understanding of OAuth 2 and think about really I don't think as yet we're going to do that for the project. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut and paste this one out. We'll put this down here and we'll call this H3 potential future ideas. Add captcha for repeated login attempts. That's kind of cool idea. I've never done that. Implement IP-based suspicious activity detection. Never done that. We might do that. We will do this. Add support for session management across multiple devices. I've never done that either, so that'll be interesting to test out. All right, so that was all of the functionality within login. In our middleware, what were the recommendations? Okay. Oh, what is it doing? I want to ask AI to change this, please. It's because it's shown as an okay, it's annoying. Alright, compression middleware. Don't need that just for a user login and authentication system. Cause middleware, we've already got that cause set up, so it's fine. Caching middleware. That's probably not something needed just for user login and registration. If we had, built our app, we can add that later on. Request logging middleware. Implement detailed API usage statistics. That's a future thing too. Okay, alrighty, let's look at this. Models. Password stuff. I always keep opening the wrong file. Okay, password strings. Implement a more robust. Yeah, we can do that. Soft delete. I want to do that. Virtual populate. That's a future thing. Have a little bit of familiarity with that. Schema methods. Add utility methods to schemas such as compare password. We can look at that. Hooks. Future thing. Encryption. That'd be interesting to look at. Pagination. That's a future thing if we have a huge number of documents. Alrighty, then let's go look at our registration overview and then general overview to go. So in our registration overview, some of the suggestions were email verification. That we definitely need. Add support for social. That's the same as what we looked at before. Enhance, we did that before. multi-factor, that's interesting. Did we have, yeah, we've got that before too, so get rid of that. I'm going to drag email verification to the top. I think that's pretty good. And then we will go to our general overview. So we're going to worry about that later on. We're going to worry about this later on. And all right, so out of the requirements that it's recommended, email verification definitely. We also need forgot password functionality. Maybe we could even do login with one-time email code, multi-factor authentication, IP-based suspicious activity detection, CAPTCHA, I can never pronounce that, for repeated login attempts, password strength requirements, session management, rate limiting middleware, we've already done that. Password strength validation, we will do. Soft delete, I think that's a good idea. All utility methods. Encryption, maybe we can encrypt a couple other fields. Comprehensive health checks, good idea. Implement graceful shutdown, good idea. And implement automated linting and formatting checks. So that is kind of where we're going to get to. One of the other things I want to do, because I am literally recording everything live for this project, I've got my video live on YouTube, but I do need to give it like some image because at the moment it looks pretty terrible. So we're going to do that, and then I might call it a day for now and come back to you later on when we're working on another part of the project. So content. Yeah, so I've got my video up on YouTube using AI. That's the title of it. Get rid of this. I'm not a designer, so I'm just using Canva. We don't need that. Using AI to build a comprehensive user registration and login app. I don't like this font. That'll do. 56. Using AI to build. That's meant to be build. Jesus, to build. Maybe we should make a little. AI built this entire backend application. User. So login / registration. Alright, that'll do. I don't really mind what it looks like for now. I'm just sharing this journey, so I'll upload this. Bring this over here. This is our video. It's uploaded. Save that, and off we go. Alrighty. Well, thanks for joining us on this video. I think we accomplished a few things, especially implementing that new error handling with AI. And yeah, got some good notes that we can work on for improving the functionality as we go. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.